Good morning, everybody. I'm Danny with We Are Forever Dreaming, and today we're going to talk about towing and how we flat tow our Jeep behind our big elevation off-grid F550. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. Okay, as I stated on our intro, we're going to talk today about flat towing and flat towing our Jeep. And we have a 2010 Jeep Wrangler that we flat tow behind this beast right here. We're going to talk about the products that we installed and the products that we use and why we chose those. So let me give you a walkthrough of the things that we have. First thing we're going to talk about is the base plate on a Jeep Wrangler. That's the base plate. Me and Donna installed it, and one of the things I'd like to point out is the 6-pin right here. A lot of flat tows come with a 4-pin. Well, with this base plate, it came with a 6-pin, and the reason why I like the 6-pin is because we can add an extra wire from our towing vehicle, which is the truck, straight from the alternator or the battery, and run power to the 6-pin here to the front of the Jeep to supply power to the battery of the Jeep. Why is that important? It's important because we use the Even Brake on here, which takes power from the battery while the car is being towed. So you need to supply power to the battery of the Jeep so it doesn't go dead. So the 6-pin was definitely the way to go. You really can't do that with the 4-pin. We did separate videos on all this stuff. I'm going to link in the description below of how me and Donna installed the base plate for our Jeep. Kind of give you a quick setup of where we're at. We're in South Carolina on Hartwell Base at a Corps of Engineer property called Springfield Campground. So coming over here, you're going to see the Guardian XL. The Guardian XL goes on the front of the Jeep, and that helps preventing getting any kind of rocks or chips, broken glass or chips on the Jeep. And that installs directly onto the base plate pins. We store it here next to the camper because it's out of the way and it holds down our rug. So now I'm going to show you how we install it. Okay, these are super easy to install and to take out. You just line it up with the hole, push it in, turn it, and it's locked in. To take it out, you pull this little pin right here and just pull it out. It's super lightweight. And I'm going to set it down for just a second. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the safety pins. And this is part of the PVC thing that I was telling you about. So I put these on here because this is the height of the Guardian, and you'll see what I mean by that, the height that we want it at. So you just slide it right on. You'll see how it rests on the PVC, and it has the thumb turns on here. Now, one thing that we realized with the thumb turns is while this is going down the road, it rattles a little bit and these thumb turns will back out, which adjusts the height of this thing. So being sitting on that PVC, we've gone about 2,500 miles with this thing on it so far with the PVC, and it works great. Put the pins back in to secure it so it won't come out. And then you just tighten this part down here. It's super easy. One person can do it, and you'll see that it's a lot sturdier. These also have wings that you can pull these rods out to make it a smaller footprint when you store it. We haven't needed to do that because, like I said, we just take it off and set it next to our back wheels by the truck camper, and it helps keep our mat from blowing away. So this is really, really easy to do. Every time we stop, one thing I have to do is I check the thumb turns on here, and I make sure that they're tight. We haven't had any nicks or anything like that with using this, so I do recommend it. The only thing I have a question about is it cut down on the gas mileage. I don't think it does. We get about 8 to 9 miles to the gallon in our truck before we did this, and I'm getting about the same gas mileage. Okay, I'm going to go backwards from the way that we have this way to the back of the truck so you can see all the stuff that we have. First thing that we have here is the Roadmaster Nighthawk Off-Road Tow Bar. We love it. Hadn't had any problems with it so far, and I'll explain to you in a few minutes how all this stuff works. The second thing that we have here is we have the Gen Y drop down. And the reason why we needed this is you can see by here by our hitch that the angle of the tow bar to the Jeep would have been too extreme. And if I remember correctly, you have to be plus or minus 3 degrees of towing to be able to tow safe. So that's why we installed this. One thing I'd like to point out is we have locks on every point of connection to prevent people from stealing our stuff. I also have an anti-rattle here to keep this to here so there's no rattle between it. And this is a 3-inch for the 3-inch receiver on here. So this is a heavy duty one here. This is made by Roadmaster, and this is a 48-inch Super Truss. This thing has been phenomenal. We haven't had any problems with it. It doesn't move once it's in. And of course it goes to the Super Hitch TorkLift, the TorkLift hitch here that's mounted on the back of the truck. And this is on a CM flatbed. So it's a CM flatbed to a TorkLift 3-inch hitch to the Super Truss to the Gen Y to the tow bar. And these products are made from Roadmaster and TorkLift, which are superior products in the industry. On the Roadmaster products, they have this locking pin down here. And what I like about it is it locks it in, but it also lets you go left, right, and straight up. And the reason I like straight up is, especially when I have the cover on it, when it rains, all the water goes down. If I have it laid down, the water's still going to beat off of it, but I just like it better. I think it looks better that way. So that's why I keep it this way. The cover is held on really simple by a little elastic snap, and you just pull the cover off. Spend the extra money to buy the cover. It really saves the product and keeps everything from getting messed up. The Roadmaster Nighthawk. I can't say enough about it. Me and Donna have gotten it down to about, I guess we could probably put the Jeep to the back of this thing and take it off within 5 minutes. It's really easy to do. Okay, some of the things that I want to point out about the Roadmaster Nighthawk is these pins. I can put pretty much my hand in there. The competition will just give you a little ring that you pull with your finger. And why is that important? Is because sometimes when this is in the Jeep, the base plate, it's tough. Sometimes it'll be kind of bound in there. And because you can get the whole thing, you can wiggle it out. And another thing that I found, and this was actually Donna's idea, is this spray from Roadmaster. You just lubricate this a little bit and it's easy getting out. So I like it because it's big. The competition, they're small little rings about the size of this, and it's really tough to get in and out. The other thing on here, all of our wires are still in here. And what's nice about that is the competitions, they'll lay on the ground. And this is where our 7-pin connector is here. So we have a 7-pin connector from here going into the Roadmaster proprietary wire here, going into the 6-pin here, which goes into our towed vehicle. And again, the reason why I went with the 6-pin vice the 4-pin is because the 7-pin has power supplied from the battery. And all I had to do is buy a wire kit that goes from a 6-pin on the towed vehicle to the battery. So when this is running, it sends a charge to the battery, which keeps our battery charged. This is the emergency breakaway from your towed vehicle. This hooks up to the towed vehicle. So if for some reason this breaks away from the towed vehicle, it'll pull a pin, and I'll show you that on the Jeep here in a second. It'll pull a pin out and it'll set the e-brake on the Jeep, so it'll slow down and pull off to the side. These are what they call cable management. Bring this down. You can see the cables are all inside the cable management. So the competitions are all, at this point in time, they'd be laying on the ground when you unhook from your towed vehicle. That's what I really like about the Nighthawk and the Roadmaster products. So the cable management, the pins, and the tension on here. This has, Roadmasters brag about, especially the Nighthawk, has the widest and the longest arms for towing. So, and that's the release of the tension to bring it back in. And like I said, this locks in automatically right here. And I just put this in here and then put the bag over it, and the bag protects it from the weather. So this thing right here with this ring on it is where that cord that I just showed you goes onto. So if this breaks away, if the Jeep breaks away from the tow bar, the tension of, once it gets tight, it'll pull this pin, which will set off the e-brake from Roadmaster. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the Even Brake. This is what goes on the inside of the Jeep that controls the braking. So This is a very big unit, but it works really well and it's very easy to set up. So some of the things I want to point out to you on here is this is the part that goes to the brake, and then this latch is, but that goes to the brake. The mechanism on here is for the testing and the setting up of the e-brake, and it has air release. It's basically like a compressor in here, and it has two cable managements over here, one for your 12-volt power, and this one goes into the relay of the brake system. One of the extra steps that you have to do is do the wiring. Either take it to a professional, or if you're pretty competent and you can do it yourself, it's not too hard to do. It just takes a little while to do it. And now we're going to take you to the inside of the Jeep. So this is part of the wiring setup that you have to do that goes into your brake lines. The Even Brake goes right here. Transmitter cable plugs into right here. This transmitter will send a signal to the monitor that's inside the truck. This is the Even Brake monitor, and it's just velcroed on right here, so we can take it on and off, and it's plugged in with 12-volt power. And green means it's good, and red means it's braking. I can't say enough how easy this is to install and to hook up and to unhook. We've had the other products, and this one's been the best for us so far.